एक तरफ तो हमारे साथ आज रज़ाक दाऊद साहब मौजूद हैं, वेरी इन्फ्लुएंशियल बिजनेसमैन। आई थिंक किसी तारुफ के मोहताज नहीं है, लेकिन जस्ट इन केस किसी को ना पता हो तो ही इज़ डन हिज बैचलर्स इन chemical engineering. He's done his master's in business administration, has significant contributions to Pakistan ki economy or business landscape. Son of Suleiman Dawood, the founder of the Dawood Group, one of the founders of the Dawood Group, one of the largest conglomerates in Pakistan. Um, then he's the former founder and CEO of Descon, fertilizers, chemicals, power generation, textile की industry से private sector में आपके गैर मामूली contribution है. So it's, sir, an honor to have you. And साथ में आपकी business activities एक तरफ, आपकी philanthropic activities में भी आप involved हैं through the Bard Foundation. So we've got the CEO Mehreen Dawood, दाऊद साहब की बेटी भी हमारे साथ आज मौजूद हैं, and she's involved in business activities and through the boards and philanthropy through Bard. और बार्ड के फेलो भी हमारे साथ एक हैं, नाइला कियानी. नाइला और मैं K2 बेस कैंप कुछ लोगों ने देखी होगी, आई थिंक वीडियो पहले से ही. तो वहाँ पे हमारी पहली मुलाकात हुई थी, जहाँ पे मैं बहुत स्ट्रगल कर रहा था सांस लेने में. और आपने मुझे सिखाया, जो अब जाके मुझे समझ आई है. बाय द वे, काफ़ी साल लगे कि नाक से सांस लेना है और मुंह से बाहर निकालना है. Now it actually works for me. But she's basically done 8,000 meter key peaks, summited them, K2, G1, G2. I think you were doing G2 when we met.
या
है
तो
ना?
मैं G2 पे जा रही थी और हम K2 बेस कैंप की टीम में बेसिकली इकट्ठे थे, तो आप वहाँ से
हाँ.
वापस गए और मैं G2
हाँ.
गई.
मैं कंकॉर्डिया पे ही रुक गया था. मैं बेस कैंप भी नहीं गया था. And she's the mother of 2 children. So suffice it to say, they're very high achieving individuals here today. तो I'm assuming मुझे तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा आज. तो अस्सलाम वालेकुम. Hope everyone's good.
Assalamualaikum.
Raza sahab, when does a businessman come to a point in their life? Because a lot of businessmen tend to be self-interested in that. Material interest is what concerns them. When does it come to a point where you want to give back to society, and what has that journey been like for you?
Well, in my case, I always loved teaching. So when I came back after my education in America, I came back, and I was initially in District Attak. Then when I came to Lahore, I settled down in Lahore in 1972. So by the time I got myself settled down in 75, I heard that the Punjab University was starting a brand new Institute of Business Administration, the IBA, of Punjab University. So one day I said, let me drive out there and find out what's going on. So I went there, met the dean, and Khwaja Amjad Saeed, and I said, I believe you're starting the program. He said, oh, yes. I said, I'd like to volunteer as a faculty. He said, you're prepared to be a faculty here? I said, of course, I'm willing to come. And whatever I've learned at Columbia University Business School just 5 years earlier, I can bring a lot of that to the class. So we agreed, and when classes started, I took on the full load of teaching marketing. And it was a fabulous experience. Very committed students, and one tried to bring in the same American culture. Things like, if you're 10 minutes late for class, forget it. Don't come. You've missed that class. You've got to be on time. You've got to be able to do that. We're giving you assignments, and the whole program was, the whole semester was given to them, which was a completely different arrangement to what happened normally in Pakistan. So it was a fabulous experience. That was the beginning of my paying back. I always wanted to do it, and what nicer way was it to start then teaching. So after that, and I taught at Punjab University for about 8 years, And then in the meantime, Babar Ali came to me and he said, look, tell me, you're teaching at the Punjab University. Is there room for another business school? Because I'm thinking that why don't we form a business school in the private sector, hopefully of a higher standard. And so would you join in this endeavor? I said, of course. And we both agreed to a certain amount of money, equal amount of money we put down on the table. Then we went and got others, went to the government, please give us a charter, and they gave us a charter for Lums. And really that was the business, that was the beginning of the business school at Lums. And then we moved to the undergraduate and we moved into engineering, into social sciences, law, and then education, School of Education. So we now, it's grown completely from the first year of 42 students to now. We have a total enrollment of over 5,000. And we're bringing in 1,200 every year. This year, we just had a meeting 2 days ago. The number of applications that are coming in, because of the rupee is broken, very costly to go to America. So now applications are up in some schools by 32%. So now we've decided that we're going to up the enrollment. We're going to put a lot of pressure on us, a lot of challenges on us, but we're going to take it, and that's the spirit. Besides Lums, when Lums was on its had started, Imran Khan came to me and said, I hear you do a lot of philanthropy work. I'm thinking of putting up the Shaukat Khanam hospital. Will you please help me? I said, okay, I'll help you. He said, look, I know nothing about construction. I know nothing about administration. So would you please come forward? And I did. In the case of Shaukat Khanam, the charter, the agreement was that people like us, outsiders, I call outsiders, not the family members. The family members of the Imran Khan family will be there permanently on the board. And people like us, myself, Parvez Hassan, we can serve 2 terms of 5 years. So when my 10 years were over, by that time the hospital was up and running. So we left. Once I left, a couple of years later, Imran rings me again. Okay, look, I've got this technical institute in Myanmar, and I think it should be upgraded to a university. Would you help? Bradford University is coming forward. Okay, I'll help. So that was another major challenge, and it's still a challenge. You see, in the case of a university in Lahore, is one thing. A university in the rural area, and particularly the backward areas, is another. The challenge is, how do you get the best that is available in the rural area? Pick those young men and women and then polish them up so that they can go into the market as equal to anybody from Karachi University, Punjab University, Lums. And that is a very, very difficult challenge, but it's a lovely challenge. That's now And so that's another thing.
How often is it that challenges motivate you? I've even heard a previous podcast that you've done with Muzammil, and I found it very inspirational that there's rarely ever materialistic self-interest at play. And generally, when I meet businessmen, I often hear about the material gains more than the challenges of accomplishing something. And even in the formation of Descon, it seemed like there was no profit motive. Yet you've contributed so much to the private sector, which generally is motivated by profit, if capitalistic models are taken into consideration. So, how often is it that within yourself do you find yourself like, oh, do I want to do public good? Do I want to do profit? And like, how do you balance that out in your actions?
In my case, I don't think there was a problem because, yes, profit is important, but profit is like air. You need it to live. If you don't make profit, the organization will die. So you make a profit to live. To live to do what? There's a much greater vision than just profit. Making money just one element, but it's not the real element. What about the development of the people? What about training? What about that we are going to grow to such an extent that more and more Pakistanis um, can be part of the whole process? And today, 45 years after Descon was started, we've had hundreds and thousands of people who've come, stayed with us, left us, formed their own companies, gone to our competitors, gone to somewhere else. But that doesn't matter. See, it's the vision. What is your vision for the institution that you are creating? For us, it was very clear. And we started in 77. And by 1981, we had enough business, alhamdulillah. We won good contracts and this and that. And then I remember in around November 81, we all sat together and we said, okay, we've got enough business, now what? So we decided that let us go out of Pakistan and let us, whatever skills we have, start becoming an international company. Go overseas, become a multinational. And so in 82, off we went. Started in Abu Dhabi. And from there, we've grown into Saudi Arabia, into Qatar, into Oman, Kuwait. So it's the vision. Now we say to ourselves that when we are overseas, one of our objectives is to sell corporate Pakistan. What does that mean? Pakistan, people feel that Pakistanis are, they're all fundos. That's all we do. We just fight with each other. Whereas Pakistanis are good professionals. I always tell our people, always behave in a manner, in a professional manner. So when people see us, they say, oh, Pakistani company in such a professional group of people. So when others go, they'll say, well, that company is also Pakistani. That other company must be good too. So you're selling corporate Pakistan. Pakistanis are good at business and we can go out there and perform. So then you start talking about all these things. The money part starts dwindling in importance. Look at the skills that we have created. Men and women that we're bringing in just on the 8th of March. we celebrated the Women's Day, International Women's Day, and how wonderful it was to see all these women in Descon, various ages, various backgrounds. Somebody from Tobitek Singh, engineer, somebody from Mandi, and it's lovely. Because you see, one thing that we don't understand at the higher level, the political level, and that is diversity is a strength. The fact that we have Baluchi, we've got Pathans, and we've got Punjabis, and we've got Gujaratis, it's our strength. Gender is a strength. It's a strength to have in the company people of different personalities, different skills, different backgrounds. And that is the essence. So when I talk of all this, where did the profit go? But profit has to be there. Otherwise we will die. But it's not the end game. Not to us. It's just part of the process. There's a much larger vision, values, strategy, all these things. So it's a different point.
And so, from all of these values, the Bard Foundation has come into being. Can you tell us a little bit about how that was formed, perhaps?
You want us to talk about that?
Okay. Murvi, you just asked Razak Sahab about a little bit of his philosophy in life. And that's exactly how we've grown up, with the same values. I mean, yes, I can say that I was born into a well-to-do family, but these were the values that we grew up with. Dedication, hard work, integrity, giving back. So when he said that he started teaching at Punjab University, I was a little girl at that time. And I remember that for him to instill that in me, the giving bit, he would make me sit with him when he was grading the papers. And I would have the register in front of me, and after he'd graded it, he'd say, okay, look for this name, and I'd show it to him, and then I would have to write the grade in front. Just instilling that, even giving that time is very important. Yes, giving is money, but no, your time also. Well, for Bard Foundation, I have seen my father give always, my mother also. And we were giving sort of not in like an institutional manner. We sort of, just going back a little bit, he talked about Descon engineering. We started the Descon Technical Institute in 1998. It was like a department teaching skills like welding, electricians, carpentry. We started over there to teach basic life skills. So tomorrow you go out into the world and you have, I would say कि आप इज्जत की रोज़ी आप कमा रहे हैं. That was the underlying theme behind DTI. I'll fast forward. Like I said, that we've been giving at different areas. So then we decided that why not institutionalize this whole thing. So in 2014, we decided to start the foundation, Bard Foundation, which is under my parents' name, Bilkis and Abdul Razak Dawood Foundation. Just to sort of, now it's formal, and whatever we do is through this avenue. That's how Bard Foundation started.
So many ways in which one can give back through social enterprise, their NGOs, microfinance. And, you know, I mean, there's various or that aren't coming to mind right now. When you were formalizing this, how did you consider like the most effective way? What's your efficacy and like how social impact measurements or like being optimizing your effect onto society? Like, what was the how are you weighing that out?
So we know that there is a lot. Pakistan is big in philanthropy, but mostly in education and healthcare. And education, of course, I mean, he just said that he had a passion for education and education being an equalizer. So education was there. The other thing that we thought of and we focus on that is sports. Again, another equalizer. I could be in a football team. I'm a team player. Nobody knows the background I'm from, but I've created that equalizing effect there. Also, it's not necessary that everybody would be able to go through the rigor of going through college or has the opportunity to go through schooling. I mean, a lot don't. School, college, but जो talent है वो है. आप उसको develop करें. So that's why we, put sports in. And it's to do sport, like for example, football. You need a ball and you need an open field. Chal pade aap. I mean, we know Pakistan. All the streets, cricket खेली जा रही है. आप मैदान से गुजरे, football खेली जा रही है. So, it's such and वैसे भी as it's an integral part of every human being. A little bit of sports, be outdoors, being in, enjoying yourself outside. So we thought that why not? For people who don't get an opportunity to go through the education way, sports. Let's put that in. And it's just been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I'll just talk to you about one of our beneficiaries. She met her father met Razak Saab in Dubai, and he just forwarded him that, talk to the foundation and let's see what they can do. So his daughter was 9 years old in tennis, Hania Minhas. He came to us and, I mean, she was an amazing superstar even at the age of 9, winning all the tournaments here. And we supported her. And IMG has now picked her up.
Wow.
So the most interesting, I mean, when I saw the video Maria Sharapova sent her, inviting her to join the Future Stars program, it was such an amazing feeling for her, yes, but even for our country. Pakistan had its glory in hockey, in squash, cricket mein, I mean, they're doing what they're doing, but a lot of it is gone. So, just a little thing as that. Yes, we want to do for Pakistani people, but we also want Pakistan's name out there in the international way. Just like he said that when he went abroad for his companies, you're bringing the name of Pakistan outside. Through sports, we want to do that for Pakistan also. That we are talented people. We are amazing people. So that was one of the reasons why we started. And then one of our beneficiaries is Naila Kiani here.
Naila has also studied
aerospace engineering,
and then changed to banking. So academically also quite a high performer.
So for me, education and as well as sports, they were both important because you learn the skills you can learn from sports, you can apply them in education in your life too. So as Mehreen mentioned, I'm one of the BARDS athletes, can I
Yes,
go ahead? Okay.
yes.
So I basically we met at K2 base camp track, and when we met each other, I was also new. It was my first time climbing an 8,000 meter peak or climbing any peak. And I was nervous, to be honest. When anybody asked me, I said, I'll go as high as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to reach the summit. So I was new. And then Alhamdulillah, I was able to climb summit Gasherbrum-II. And I was encouraged by Ali Raza Satpara, who was my guide at G2. He asked me to accompany him on K2. And to be honest, when I climbed G2, people didn't believe it even after I submitted until they saw my picture, because how can I go, how can a woman I had a baby a few months before the summit. I never climbed any peak before that. So people didn't believe it. A lot of people didn't believe it. So, okay, but when I planned to do K2, people didn't even believe that either. They said she will not be able to do it. But alhamdulillah, I think I was lucky. We say that if you have good intentions, if you have saaf niyat, then good things come to you. So I met Dawood Saab by chance in Dubai at Dubai Expo. I didn't know, to be honest, I never met you before, so I didn't know about Bard Foundation. He told me about Bard Foundation when he heard that I am a mountaineer and I'm the first Pakistani female to climb Gasherbrum-II. So I think even that was just it. Never planned that. I was looking for support, financial support, but meeting Dawood Saab was, I think it was my good luck. So I contacted Bard Foundation, and I was, to my surprise, Bard approved my request, and I didn't believe it initially. When I applied, I wasn't too sure because I was a new mountaineer. Although I had one achievement, but
what was that achievement?
Gasherbrum-II. So I applied to Bard after Gasherbrum-II.
Aha.
So one achievement, still very new. So a lot of time, some foundations or company may think, why do we invest in her? Because she just started, and it's a big risk because I may not summit. So, but yeah, I was very surprised. I met some of the board members few months before my expedition, and I was asked to meet you just before my expedition started, and I was shocked because now I feel very comfortable talking in front of the whole family, board members, but I was like, oh my God, I'm meeting Razak Dawood. He's contributed to so much in Pakistan: education, politics, business. He wants to meet me because a lot of my friends who had sponsors, mountaineer friends, they never met anybody from board team, let alone the founding member of a massive company in Pakistan. So I was shocked and I was very nervous just before meeting. I was like, what will I talk about? And I don't know, maybe I embarrassed myself talking to you.
Not at all.
Because I was so nervous, but I was, at the same time, I was honored, I was humbled. I was just, in a state of shock even after meeting you, because I think it was the respect that Bard family gave me. I wasn't treated like a beneficiary. I actually was treated like a family member. And even after the summit, when I went to Lahore, board's family members were there. All of you, the siblings were there, the children were there, and I was like, what, for me? And I had tears in my eyes, because it was, you can get money from other companies, you can get support somehow. I was given, it was a large amount, it wasn't a small amount, but also that the level of respect I received from Bard Foundation, I don't think I would have received that from somewhere else.
Amazing. आपको कोपे माई का how did you get into mountain climbing? मतलब आपका कोई पहाड़ी बैकग्राउंड भी है, क्या शौक था, ये किस तरह इस लेवल पे अचीवमेंट तक आप पहुंची, को उसकी भी कोई कहानी होगी, आई एम श्योर.
बिल्कुल.
माँ बाप की तरफ से सपोर्ट थी, ये भी सारी सवाल आते हैं मेरे कुछ.
सो बिल्कुल भी माउंटेन बैकग्राउंड नहीं है. मैं पिंडी से हूँ, पिंडी में ही पली बड़ी थी, और K2 देखने का बहुत शौक था. एडवेंचरस थी, स्पोर्टी थी. और K2 देखने का शौक़ बचपन से ही था, लेकिन टू बी ऑनेस्ट जब हम व्हेन वी वर ग्रोइंग अप तो हमें पता ही नहीं था K2 किधर है, स्कर्दू किधर है. ये तो हम गिलगित बल्तिस्तान रिसेंटली जाना स्टार्ट किया. तो मैंने प्लान किया था 4.5 साल पहले अपनी और हस्बैंड की का वेडिंग फ़ोटोशूट एट K2 बेस कैम्प. सो हस्बैंड नहीं आ सके बट आई मैनेज टू सी K2. और उसके बाद मुझे क्यूरियोसिटी पैदा हुई थी कि कैसे, क्योंकि वहाँ पे बहुत से क्लाइंबर्स थे. तो उस ट्रैक से पहले मैंने एवरेस्ट देखी थी, एवरेस्ट मूवी, क्योंकि मैं ट्रैकिंग का भी थोड़ा सा मूवी से लर्न करना चाह रही थी कि क्या एक्सपीरियंस होता है. तो मैं उसमें क्लाइंबर्स को देख के सोच रही थी ये लोग पागल हैं, क्यों इतना रिस्क लेते हैं जान का, ऊपर जाके इनको क्या मिलता है. लेकिन जब क्लाइंबर से इन पर्सन बात की तो आई वाज वेरी क्यूरियस कि क्या मिलता है इनको, मतलब इनकी बॉडी और माइंड किस प्रोसेस से गुजरते हैं. So I went back and I was asked to join a Spantic expedition or fast forward. I 2 साल पहले मैंने G2 डिसाइड किया क्लाइम करना, just because I just literally just wanted to experience the challenge and see how far up I'd be able to go. कोई ऐसा प्लान नहीं था कि रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक करना है, बिकॉज आई डिडंट इवन नो माई एबिलिटी. मैं उससे 5400 मीटर से ऊपर गई नहीं थी पहले. तो वॉज जस्ट क्यूरियोसिटी, कोई और प्लान माइंड में नहीं था. लेकिन जब आई मैनेज टू रीच द टॉप, और मैं ख़ुद भी हैरान थी, माउंटेनियरिंग कम्युनिटी में सब हैरान थे, उसके बाद मुझे ऑफ कोर्स शौक़ पैदा हो कि और पीक्स क्लाइम करनी है.
ज़बरदस्त. आपका फिटनेस में पहले से रुझान था, लेकिन और मतलब आप, क्योंकि आई रिमेंबर व्हेन आई मेट यू एट K2 बेस कैंप, यू वर अहेड ऑफ एवरीवन. At least that's what it felt to me, because I was behind everyone. So mashallah se, I mean, so much great things coming up as well. What's now the plan to take it forward?
So अभी इंशाल्लाह एवरेस्ट एंड लोटसे का प्लान है नेपाल में, एंड my plan is to climb as many of the 14 peaks as possible. And again, Bard Foundation has very generously offered support, full support for Everest and Lhotse. Next month, inshallah, April में मैं start करूँगी expedition.
Amazing. I mean, when we went there to K2 base camp, I was making a documentary on Ali Satpara Saab, who had passed away climbing K2 base camp, and K2, the mountain itself, summiting it. On the way back, we found out later that he passed away. And his son was on his way to receive the body at that point. But I'd made a documentary with him earlier, so I got to meet him before he passed away. And at that point, when I released the documentary, I became aware of this opinion that people have about mountain climbing, and sometimes about sports in general, is that why are they doing such a risky thing? And completely rejecting or not understanding or paying attention to that the human spirit is to progress or to challenge itself, and whether that be in the Wright brothers making the first airplane and risking their lives by making that airplane. But they would say that this is a fool's errand. And this is through the comments in YouTube, which I'd never considered. That people actually have this opinion. So how do you see like athletic prowess and proficiency? How does that reflect upon a society that has like great athletic, and how important is it?
I think it's absolutely important. You see it in all developing countries, developing countries. Sports is an essential element of any society. For society to progress, sports teaches you how to lose. Sports teaches you comradeship. Sports teaches you to get hurt and come back. Sports teaches you so many things. And why is it that in every country, sports is a very, very developed profession? And because you said one thing, and you see it more in sports than in any other, and that's the embodiment of the human spirit. It's the human spirit that makes you do all the things that you do. You're going to knock off that one extra second in the 100-meter dash. You're going to do this. You're going to go that extra 6 inches higher in the jump. So that's what it is. And as Mehreen just said, that sports is an equalizer. Once you've got that skill, who cared that Pele was from an absolute, really worse background in Brazil? Who cared about Messi today in Argentina? Nobody bothers. Once you're up there, and once you're in a team, nobody says, where are you from? It's a team. So that's the beauty of sports. And we look upon it in Bar. It's a major challenge. And the other thing that I like about it is it's not something that's going to be done in a year or two. It's going to take time. You've got to be at it and at it. Take 5 years, 10 years. Really, inshallah, it will develop. We hope that others will start taking interest in it. Whatever we see in sports, we know that we do not have the resources alone. Our foundation alone cannot do it. And we hope that others will come forward. Others will support us. Others will do it on their own. And so sports will start becoming an important activity. Today, if anybody goes into sports, other than cricket, you don't get a salary. You play badminton, you're not going to get a salary. But once we got the structure correct, that's what we're trying to do. We had a meeting yesterday, how to structure football. If we can do it, and then people will start getting a salary out of it, being able to look upon sports as a profession, as a job, as a source of livelihood. So that's it'll take time. It will take time.
Razak Sahab, can I just sort of add on to it? Sports, teaching through sports. So a couple of years ago, my brother was in South Africa for some work, and he saw boards with right to play. And he inquired about it. So it was sport-based learning. He came back to Pakistan and we researched about it, and we found out that it was already in Pakistan, in Karachi. I visited the school where they teach you the basic skills, the value of life through sports, like he said, team spirit, self-esteem, learning how to lose. So then we decided to bring it to Punjab. The right to play is not in Punjab. We've just, with CARE Foundation, 5 of their schools, we're going to start right to play over there. Very recently, this is another thing, there was a football coach who had come in from England. And, we had meetings with him, and he was like, that please don't take that 10 people have come to play football. It's not necessary that all 10 can be superstars, but you can channelize them. One can go towards physical training, one can go towards, the diet, one can go through, there's so many different aspects behind a single sport. So encourage that. Ke alag avenues aaye, again for livelihood. Not everybody can make it to the top, right? But you can go in the other fields and develop there. So, we are taking sports quite seriously. In fact, with Assam, we've started the ACE Academy. And he's picked up 4 children from Karachi, Lahore, Peshawar, Islamabad, and he's training them. And now we are thinking of getting a coach, a physical fitness coach from abroad to introduce to our people what is required to be up there. I mean, one of the reasons why we've, asked Naila repeatedly to go and talk to children in schools. I think you went to the care school also, to different universities to inspire other individuals. It's not easy. No road to success is easy. You fall, you get up, you fall, you get up, but you keep going. That's what we want to impart also. And like Razak Sahab said, that there is so much that needs to be done. And really, we can't do it on our own. No way.
Well, I've often struggled with this with mountain climbing myself as well, since I became these mountain climbers that I've met, including you, Sarbaz. They became my heroes when I saw the sport. It's not a spectator sport. It's hard to film it. It's hard to put it on television.
Yes.
It's hard to get commercial interests to line up. So I often, like football being the opposite of that, I've often wondered how mountaineering as a sport, which is massive in Europe, it's a dream for most people to become that, and it's widely practiced as well, and commercial interests somehow line up as well. And I often wonder how do the lining up process would work for mountaineering in Pakistan. नाइला, आपको कुछ लगता है कि इसका कुछ, मुझे तो बड़ा फ़ख्र होता है जब मैंने अली सतपारा को माउंटेन क्लाइंब करते हुए वीडियो कर लिया किसी तरीके से. अब तो ड्रोन्स भी हैं, सो आई कैन एक्चुअली लाइक शो हाउ द स्पोर्ट काइंड ऑफ वर्क्स, एंड दैट मेक्स इट लाइक मोर एंगेजिंग एंड फैसिनेटिंग टू लुक एट. तो वो अब जब लड़कियों को मोटिवेट कर रही होती हैं या आप अपनी कहानी सुना रही होती हैं जिसके ज़रिए वो ऑटोमेटिकली मोटिवेट और इंस्पायर हो जाते हैं, तो आप वो किस तरह देखती हैं कि माउंटेनियरिंग के अंदर क्या किया जा सकता है पाकिस्तान में?
आई थिंक जैसे आपने बोला, बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है विजुअली शो करना, क्योंकि बहुत से लोगों को पता नहीं है. उनको अगर वर्बली बताएंगे कि कितना मुश्किल है, उनको समझ नहीं आएगी जब तक उनको विजुअली उनको दिखाएंगे नहीं. तो टू बी ऑनेस्ट काफ़ी काम हो चुका है. आपकी डॉक्यूमेंट्री भी है और भी लोगों ने पिछले 2-3 सालों में इसको प्रमोट करने के लिए, इंक्लूडिंग बार्ड फाउंडेशन जो आपने मुझे टॉक्स के लिए लेके गए, जो सब कुछ मतलब एक्टिविटीज़ लाइन अप की, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज़ एक्चुअली हेल्पिंग फॉर श्योर. क्योंकि 3 साल पहले किसी को पता भी नहीं था कि पाकिस्तान में कितने माउंटेन्स हैं या नांगा पर्वत पाकिस्तान में है या नहीं है. मतलब पीपल आस्क मी नांगा पर्वत पाकिस्तान में है या नहीं है. सो आई थिंक डेफिनेटली वी इन द राइट ट्रैक. लेकिन अगर जितना भी इस पे काम और भी हो सके, इट्स अच्छा है, क्योंकि ना सिर्फ इसको पाकिस्तान में माउंटेनियरिंग को प्रमोशन मिलेगी, बल्कि वी हैव hundreds and thousands of mountains. मतलब 5,000 प्लस तो thousands of mountains हैं पाकिस्तान में. तो वो उसको हम एज अ इंडस्ट्री भी उसको प्रमोट कर सकते हैं कि बाहर से फॉरेनर्स आए और यहाँ की माउंटेन पीक्स क्लाइंब करें. लेकिन येस, आई थिंक जितना ज़्यादा इसको डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज़ हो, मूवीज़ हो, फिल्म्स हो, जो इंस्टाग्राम पे वीडियोस, यूट्यूब पे वीडियोस हो, जितना ज़्यादा हम शेयर कर सकते हैं, वो उसके लिए डेफिनेटली उसको और हेल्प करेगा.
और माउंटेन्स भी हमारे पास दुनिया के सबसे बड़े यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं, तो
बिल्कुल
we've got like the best or one of the top, what is it, the top
So 5, we have top 5 out of 14 in Pakistan. लेकिन जो 5,000 प्लस पीक्स हैं वो हमारे पास नेपाल से भी ज़्यादा हैं. सो नेपाल हैज़ 7 or so 8,000 मीटर पीक्स, लेकिन हमारे पास 7,000 प्लस पीक्स, 6,000 प्लस पीक्स नेपाल से भी बहुत ज़्यादा है.
नाइला, आपको डर नहीं लगता ऊपर चढ़ते हुए? मतलब कई दफ़ा तो सांस ही नहीं आ रहा होता, और मैं तो मुझे रात को सो रहा होता था, उठ जाता था. आई फेल्ट लाइक आई वाज सफोकेटिंग, एंड देन यू नो लाइक दोस स्लीपिंग बैग, यू ओनली गॉट इट टिल हियर, सो यू वेक अप एंड इट्स ऑल डार्कनेस, एंड सो यू लाइक क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिया, बट इट्स सो डेंजरस एंड इट गेट्स सो स्केरी. आप हाउ डू यू डील विद वो जो डर होता है मॉर्टल डेंजर का?
मोस्टली ऑनेस्टली बिल्कुल भी डर नहीं लगता. आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट हेल्प्ड. लेकिन K2 पे और G1 पे इस साल 2 दफ़ा डरी थी. एक दफ़ा K2 पे जब बॉटल नेक के पास, बॉटल नेक ऑब्वियसली स्कैरी इस तरह है क्योंकि स्टोरीज सुनी है कि वो एक बेसिकली ओवर हैंगिंग सराक, इन सिंपल टर्म बेसिकली वो तोदा है बर्फ़ का, जो कि ओवर हैंगिंग मतलब आपके ऊपर जब आप क्लाइंब कर रहे होते हैं ना, तो वो लिटरली आपके ऊपर ऐसे आ रहा होता है. तो आई से और किसी भी टाइम गिर सकती है, लेकिन उसकी स्टोरी सुनिए इसलिए वो उसको उसके नीचे से गुजरते हुए डर लोगों को लगता है इट्स नॉट अ डिफिकल्ट क्लाइंब, लेकिन वहाँ पे लोग इतने ज़्यादा थे इस साल कि वो आइस पे लिटरली हैंग होके खड़ा होना पड़ता था. मतलब इस 8,400 मीटर्स आप ऑलरेडी एग्जॉस्टेड हैं, खाना नहीं खाया होता आपने प्रॉपरली काफ़ी दिन से, नींद पूरी नहीं होती है, और आपके जो क्रैम्पॉन्स हैं वो बर्फ़ में आप उनको यूज़ नहीं कर सकते प्रॉपरली, सो यू हैव टू यूज़ योर अपर बॉडी स्ट्रेंथ. तो वो बहुत मुश्किल था. उस वक्त एक दफ़ा मुझे डर लगा था कि व्हाट इफ़ आई डोंट गो बैक होम टू माय डॉटर्स. तो मैं यही बोलती हूँ, लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि आपको आपकी छोटी बेटियाँ, आपको डर नहीं लगता कि आप अगर घर नहीं गई तो क्या होगा. तो वही एक्चुअली दैट वाज द मोमेंट व्हेन आई रियलाइज के दे आर माय स्ट्रेंथ, क्योंकि उस वक्त लाइक आई सेड फिजिकली आई वाज सुपर एग्जॉस्टेड, लेकिन बेटियों को यूज़ करके मैंने पूरा फोकस लगाया कि एक छोटी सी भी मिस्टेक नहीं करूँ. सो दैट वाज वन मोमेंट वेयर आई वाज स्कैर्ड. और G1 पे जब मौसम अचानक से बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब हो गया था, एंड वी आर ओनली फ्यू पीपल ऑन G1 कंपेयर टू K2 माउंटेन. तो उस वक्त इतनी ज़्यादा मैं और मेरा जो को क्लाइंबर था सोहेल, वी वर देयर, और मेरा क्रैम्पॉन जो कि इक्विपमेंट होता है हमारे शूज़ के नीचे लगता है, वो गिर गया था. और आई ग्रैब्ड इट. अगर वो मतलब मेरे हाथ से निकल जाता तो वो मेरा समिट कैंसिल हो जाता, लेकिन उस वक्त मैं उसके पकड़ने के प्रोसेस में रस्सी से गिर गई, और वो पूरा वो जो ऊपर से जो आइस, आई डोंट नो उसके लिए टर्म क्या होगी, बट बेसिकली वो ऊपर से ना आइस स्नो गिरती जा रही थी नीचे, और मेरी आंखों में पूरे मेरे वो जो समिट सूट पहना था हर जगह आंखें भर गई हैं, मतलब साफ़ कर रही हूँ और स्नो आ रही है. तो उस वक्त अगेन मैं अपने आप को अपर बॉडी स्ट्रेंथ करके यूज़ करके ऊपर लेके गई. तो आई वाज लाइक ईजीएस्ट वे वुड प्रोबेबली बी इफ़ आई जस्ट लेट गो, क्योंकि नीचे भी कोई नहीं है, नीचे पीछे वाले कैंप में, और ऊपर आई डोंट नो हाउ फार इट इज़. बट देन अगेन आई यूज़ माई डॉटर्स कि नहीं ऐसा, मतलब वो लिटरली उस थॉट को स्टॉप करना था इन अ फ्यू सेकेंड्स. उसके अलावा मुझे डर नहीं लगता. तो कभी कभी आ जाती है ऐसी.
फनी हाउ जो लोग आपको आपकी वीकनेस बना रहे हैं वही आपकी स्ट्रेंथ है.
बिल्कुल.
कि वो एक विजन है that makes you go further.
Yeah.
Shehroz is one of the Bard Fellows.
Yes, very exciting. We're really excited about it. So he's 21, and he wants to make a
We're
work.
talking about Shehroz Kashif.
Shehroz Kashif,
Yes.
Oh, of course,
broad
I know. Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, so he wants to make that record to be the youngest person in the world to have summited all the 14 peaks. And yes, we are supporting him also.
He's just recovered from a.
He's right now in
injury.
Nepal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been following his story. He is a real prodigious
Yes.
young talent.
Yes, yes. So we're really excited about that. So right now we have 2 mountaineers with us, Shehroz and Naila.
Amazing.
I think you're probably the only two who are, the only foundation who's supporting 2 mountaineers at the same time.
I mean, it's so exciting. She's going on for Everest. I mean, a huge thing for Pakistan. And he's doing the 14 peaks, trying to create a record. Wow.
Wow. Well, all the best. I mean, I'm hooting for you guys.
Thank you.
Just to let you know that he's summited Kilimanjaro.
No way.
Yeah.
Gee,
My God. Acha, no wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder there's a massive interest in other people. What was that like? How?
it was a wonderful experience, honestly. But Kilimanjaro is nothing to what
It's still
you
hard.
went through. It was tough. Myself and my 2 sons, the 3 of us went, and it took us 5.5 days to get to the top. The last day, the last climb, that was tough because it was freezing cold, and the incline was very, very high. So, but you make it.
Well, it reminds me of this Ernest Hemingway short story called The Snows of Kilimanjaro, where there's a plane crashed and they all have to eat each other. It's cannibalism.
Yeah.
Just that story makes me stay away from that mountain. That if at any point in mortal danger we'll have to eat each other to survive, doesn't sound very appealing. Dawood, I'm saying Bard Foundation is not just involved in education, it's involved in promoting athletes, but also in healthcare, I read. Is that
No,
true?
no, we're not. We're
No,
not.
So what are the
no,
exact things then?
No, we've not got right now into healthcare, and there's a reason for that because health is an area where a lot of people are supporting health, and we feel it's a far bigger priority to concentrate on education and sports. We also do other social activity. When the floods came, help and rebuild the
In COVID also.
accommodation. COVID came, we helped there, but we haven't focused at this moment on health yet. Yeah.
Well, there's a story that I hear from people a lot that Razak Dawood's net worth would be a lot more if he wasn't as philanthropic as he is. Do you think that's true?
Irrelevant.
Do you ever look at your net worth? These things don't matter.
Never crosses my mind. Never spend any time on that. Because what you give, Allah Ta'ala gives you more. Then you give again. It's the, giving is dependent on the size of your heart, not the size of your wallet. So you give it.
Amazing. And how did father and daughter kind of become like business partners as well as like involved in philanthropy together? What's that relationship like?
Well, for me, I was involved in Bard Foundation, but then in 2018 I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I think it was time for me to introspect, time out. And at that point I actually thought that there has to be a higher calling. And I discussed it with my father, and that's when we decided that I'll do Bard full time. Before that, I had my own work, so finished, and Bard Foundation is my life now.
What was that work beforehand?
I did interiors and consultancy in that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a major shift. And as you grew older, you didn't go into the same field as like engineering and
No. So I did go a little into teaching because that, I was passionate about it also. The first experience was when I think I was 15, and I went to, we used to go to Karachi for our summer holidays, and my parents encouraged me to teach in one of the government schools.
at 15.
At 15.
Okay.
So I asked them, what can I do? So they said, come and teach them English. The little kids, and basic, obviously, English. And I was dressed very simply because I was going into a government school, and somehow I would, come back with a heavy heart. And I remember him telling me that be grateful for what you have, and always remember a part of what you have is for others, is to give. So that stayed in me also. I did teach for a while at Beacon House once I got married and moved to Karachi. And then again, because when I had children of my own, I wanted to understand a child's mind. So I did the Montessori course. And I was like, okay, I want to see how a child's mind works and develop them from there. I went into MBA at IBA, couldn't complete it. Medical issues for myself, and then I joined IBA again. Then my daughter got really sick. And unfortunate, but I couldn't do it. I needed to give my child time at that point in my life, and then I switched and started my own business.
Hmm.
And later, I, sort of couple of years down the road, then my father encouraged me that why don't you start coming in moving towards Descon and I mean when I say Descon, it just doesn't mean Descon engineering, the whole thing. And so moving back to that and Bard.
God. Wow.
You everybody has their own journeys, right? What you plan is never God is the planner.
Yeah. I mean, Razak Dawood Saab seems to have a very patient, learning attitude towards approaching problem solving and challenges. Is that something that you feel like you absorb from there? What part of yourself do you see as like something that directly comes from the nurture that he must have imparted, apart from give back? Part of what you have in your heart is for them.
The way he has brought us up is always through encouragement. Always. And I think that I've learned also. I mean, Chota sa incident, we were up on a holiday somewhere and we were climbing a little hill. And there's an old man, he had a bag that he was carrying up. He was really bent over. So I must have been 10 or whatever. I asked him, I said, can I help you now? Carry it up for you. A simple thing, no big deal. But the amount he praised me, oh my God, that pata nahi, but what I've done. So I learned at that point how important it was through encouragement to get the other person up. So even for my children, I think I've done that. Encourage them whatever way, given them the independence which I got. We were always told, do what you want, but hard work, integrity, these are the prereqs. Without that, no way. So these are the things that I try to instill in my children also. Whatever you've decided on, 110%, nothing less is acceptable. You fall, get up, dust your clothes, get going. These are the things that I've learned from him and imparting to my children also.
That's wonderful. Razak Saab, how does this sort of like empowering people through encouragement or placing them in positions to succeed, how does that play in the bigger corporate hierarchy? Does that even play a role, or is it all competition with over there, or does like kind of encouragement play a role in that type of corporate structure as well?
No, it's a very, very important integral part of the whole thing. Because not only have you got to keep all the people in the company feeling that, yes, they've got that little extra challenge to do, we also move people around the organization. So if you're in this department, you stay there, and then a time will come when the management feel that you can do more work, transfer you into another area to give you that rounded skill. So that means we're preparing you for higher positions. And the best way is, I've always found is, encourage them. Keep encouraging people, and it's reprimand is not the real method of developing people. It is encouraging them and forgetting the mistakes. Mistakes we all make. We're all going to take wrong decisions. It's in the nature of management that you will make mistakes. The thing that you have to do is try to get a system going with what we just talked about, diversity, participative style of management, that the mistakes that you make over a 25 years period will be far less than if you don't do all these things. And encouragement is a massive element of developing management. So it's, see, when you start business or when somebody comes into a company, right at the beginning, it's not your, it is your aptitude. आप किस तरह से काम कर सकते हो? You know how to do analysis, you know this. It is your aptitude. As you grow up and move up in the organization, then it's not your aptitude anymore. It's your attitude. It's the attitude that you have of developing people, encouraging people. And then when you get through that attitude, that you really get to your leadership positions. And when you're in a leadership position, now a leader is a different person. Leader is the servant of the people he leads. A leader doesn't give pain, he takes pain. A leader is a listener. So it's the leader who recognizes that his subordinates are the ones who allow him to lead. So it's the other way around. Once you do that, now you're talking of true leadership. Leadership gives that vision. Leadership gives that value. Run by those values. It's the leadership who takes the final decision on a strategy. So then there are many elements to it.
It feels like when you said like it's your aptitude when you're starting out, it's almost like taking stock in yourself and your own abilities at a certain point, and then as you become in a leadership position, you take stock in others, and that kind of change takes place. Where you've taken stock in yourself, proved your own abilities, and now you judge others who have good attitude and take stock in them, so that they can climb up. Did that occur in your personal sort of arc as well, as you were proving yourself?
Absolutely. Everybody goes through the same process. In the initial years, it is it's called personal mastery. You've got to master, because nobody is perfect. We've all got and we all know inside us what are our weaknesses. So whatever is your weakness, somebody has this weakness, somebody has that weakness, you've got to master and develop and improve those weaknesses. That's why once and it's a process. You get that, then you're managing people, then you're managing results, and the ultimate is creating the future. That's when you're really high in the organization. Then you are creating the future. That's an even tougher game. So it's a process.
Valuable lessons, sir. It's been such a edifying conversation with you guys. I feel like I've learned so much, and I hope the people who are watching have learned so much. Is there something that I missed out that you guys want to talk about before we go?
From my side,
I think we're okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
I'll just add one more thing to what Mehreen was saying about encouraging others. When Mehreen was talking, it reminded me of a moment when I came back from K2 and G1 summit. To be honest, it was at the same time, although I achieved a massive thing, but it was traumatic at the same time because of what I saw, people, getting injured, and we also lost some people. So as women, sometimes we, either doubt ourselves or sometimes we don't actually acknowledge our achievement. So when I spoke to Mehreen in Lahore, she actually, the way she spoke to me, she had tears in her eyes, and the words she said, I think I needed them. She made me realize that what I actually have done, I did, I climbed 2 major peaks in Pakistan, but I needed somebody else to say that. But it's just, the way she spoke to me, I still remember her tears. I think, and that's what made me realize, and that it's not just the money that I've been given, it's the respect and the love also I'm getting. So I totally thank you so much for everything.
Absolute pleasure.
all did.
Naila, we do take, you as part of the Bard family now. So everything about you is so important to us. Just to add, a little bit, that she is really part of our family like the others are. So Hania, the tennis star that we're talking about, she is right now in Turkey. And they were in Turkey when the earthquake hit. Yeah. So not only me, but our entire team obviously was in touch with them, encouraged them. And in one of the conversations when I was having with the father, he told me that 2 weeks prior, Hania had played against, I'm forgetting the name of the girl who she played against, and that child died in the earthquake. So they were all so traumatized by the whole thing. And we do take it on ourselves to be there for them in whatever way we can, because we genuinely feel that they are part of our family. Correct me if I'm wrong, मुझे नाइला वो बात इतनी टच की थी जब आपने कहा कि before you summited when Razak sir met you, you said that he said कि your safety is the only thing that we are concerned at. Whether you climb or you don't, it really doesn't matter. As in make it to the peak. And I wasn't there when he said it, and I just thought that, oh my God, what an amazing thing to say. To her, again, encouragement, right? Look after yourself first and not chad jana. So, when I say that his attitude is so encouraging all the time, I was like, I always get amazed at these things. And I think all of us have inculcated that as part of us, because it's just phenomenal what the results that you can get.
And I agree, because a lot of time sponsored athletes, especially mountaineers, they are under pressure to summit, and they make wrong decisions because they have to answer to their sponsors. But what Razak Sahab told me just before my expedition, no pressure, nothing, just said, your safety is important, make sure you have the best equipment. I just want you to come back safe. And that meant so much to me, because I know how difficult it is for my friends who are there, and they make wrong decisions sometimes just because they don't want to disappoint their sponsors or people who are supporting them. So thank you so much. Thank you. And you're still supporting me. And I know I am actually very blessed and lucky to have you.
I think that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. It's been an honor.